Like some real loving basketball game? Uh-oh. We losing?
You want to wrap up?
When I was curious about one thing going back to...
In fact, I might just leave.
Yeah. Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
We are. Toss up, pal. So anyway,
night, everybody.
Yeah.
Next question.
I think the peanut gallery is going to start chiming really quickly. We've been audited.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock.
All right.
Because she's a comedian.
Here, he's back on. It suits you.
Thanks for the question.
I'm sorry. You're blaming it on me? Don't put this on me.
From unexpected celebrity breakups to heated political confrontations, stay tuned from Jamie Foxx's courtside silence to Nicolas Sarkozy's quiet exit. What happens when the questions get too personal, too probing, or just plain uncomfortable? Sometimes the most memorable moments aren't the answers, they're the walkouts. Interviews are supposed to be the place where stars and public figures open up, share stories, and connect with their audiences. But sometimes the conversation hits a nerve, and what follows isn't an answer, but a sudden exit. Jamie Foxx walks out after unexpected Katie Holmes' question. Jamie Foxx showed up courtside, suited up, and ready to entertain at the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. Rocking his Team Clippers gear and trademark charisma, the vibe was all fun. Until it wasn't. Michael Smith kicked things off with casual basketball banter, but just seconds in, he pivoted hard into tabloid territory.
Saw pictures. Did you and Katie Holmes play basketball for Valentine's Day? Like some real loving basketball game?
Jamie didn't flinch. He didn't even blink. He just calmly removed his headset, stood up, and walked off the interview, like a man who knew exactly what he wasn't about to entertain. The sound guy's stunned look to the camera? Pure gold. Fox didn't need a word to make his point. He was done, and the message was loud and clear. Some questions don't deserve answers. Birdman demands respect, then walks out in under 2 minutes. The Breakfast Club has seen uncomfortable interviews before, but none quite like what happened when Birdman stormed into the studio in April 2016. Behind the mics were even hot, the energy was off. Birdman didn't sit, he confronted.
I'm gonna start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there. Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Let's go. Let's do it on camera.
Stop playing with my name.
Let's
I ain't
go
gonna
right
say it
on
no
in.
more. Nigga, when my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All three of y'all.
The hosts, DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlemagne the God, tried to move forward, business as usual. Charlemagne,
Did you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy?
Man, I'm pulling up on you, nigga.
that was it. The question broke whatever fragile thread was holding the moment together. Birdman snapped.
Radio guy. Why pull up on the
who you
radio
is.
guy? Don't act tough with the radio
I
guy.
hear you, my nigga. Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking.
Then he stood up, walked out. No handshake, no wrap-up. In less than 2 minutes, Birdman didn't just end the interview, he redefined what it means to make an exit. Nicolas Sarkozy walks out over personal questions. In 2007, newly elected French President Nicolas Sarkozy sat down with 60 Minutes for what was meant to be a routine political interview. But things took a sharp turn when the conversation veered into personal territory. Leslie Stahl asked,
Since we've been here, it seems that every day we're hearing another story about your wife. What's going on?
Sarkozy calmly replied,
If I had something to say about Cecilia, I would certainly not do so here.
But there's a great mystery. Everybody's asking. Even your press secretary was asked at the briefing today. No comment?
He was quite right to make no comment, and no comment. Thank you.
and with that, he had reached his limit. Sarkozy politely removed his earpiece, stood up, shook Stahl's hand, and ended the interview right then and there. No outburst, no explanation, just a quiet, deliberate exit. 2 weeks later, it was announced that he and Cecilia were officially divorced, making Sarkozy the first French president to divorce while in office. Paris Hilton walks out after Fame question. In a 2011 ABC News interview, Paris Hilton sat down with Dan Harris for what started as a casual, even playful conversation, complete with interruptions from her many pets and reflections on her fame, stalkers, and billion-dollar business empire. But the mood shifted sharply when Harris asked a pointed question.
Do you ever worry about your moment having passed?
Paris responded with a sarcastic laugh, followed by a clipped no. Moments later, when Harris tried again with,
"You want to wrap up?"
Hilton didn't answer. She just stood up and walked out. Off camera, a heated discussion followed between Hilton and her publicist. Eventually, she returned to finish the interview, saying,
"I've been in this business for 15 years now, so it's been a very long time, and just like any other business person or someone in the industry, it's always important to reinvent yourself and come up with new projects."
Though the tension cooled by the end, and Hilton even gave the reporter a hug, the moment had already gone viral. It was a clear signal. Even the queen of reality TV has her limits. When the questions hit a nerve, Paris didn't just check out, she walked out. Bee Gees walk out after hosts jabs. In 1997, legendary music group the Bee Gees, Barry, Robin, and Maurice Gibb, appeared on Clive Anderson All Talk for what was supposed to be a lighthearted chat about their long-spanning career. But the tone was off from the very beginning. Host Clive Anderson opened with,
So what is it? How do you know how to write hit songs? Because that's it. You're hit writers, aren't you?
We've been doing it since we were
I think that's
kids.
the word anyway.
Yeah, but it's a nice word.
Yes.
a stunned pause, then laughter, mostly from the audience. Barry Gibb smiled tightly but remained composed. Later, when Anderson brought up their early band name,
Before we became the Bee Gees, we were late tossers.
he joked,
You'll always be late tossers to me, but I don't know.
That's why we're here. And that's why you had us on the show.
Yeah.
Barry calmly responded,
Yeah, no, of course.
We're getting on like a storm, aren't we, Clive?
Yes.
In fact, I might just leave.
Yeah.
He stood up, looked at the host, and added,
We are a tosser, pal. So anyway, everybody.
Robin and Maurice Gibb sat for a moment, visibly uncomfortable. Then, without a word, they followed their brother off stage, leaving Anderson alone on live television. No yelling, no drama, just a cool, deliberate exit. Jordan Belfort walks out over hidden income question. In what began as a reflective sit-down with 60 Minutes Australia, Jordan Belfort, the infamous stockbroker whose life inspired The Wolf of Wall Street, was ready to talk about redemption, regret, and rebuilding, but as the interview progressed, journalist Liz Hayes began to press Belfort on the victims of his fraud and the slow pace of their restitution. Trying to steer the conversation back, Belfort said,
So I've said enough about this. Let's move on.
Let me ask you this one thing.
Let's move on, okay? Honestly, I'm ready. I'm not going to get attacked here. You're here, so I'm done with this. Next.
Hayes didn't. Instead, she asked,
Apparently, you have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
That was the breaking point. Belfort shot back.
Next question.
Then, without fanfare or formal goodbye, he removed his mic, stood up, and walked off camera, visibly frustrated.
Why can't I ask these
honestly,
questions?
and I was told this is a friendly, nice interview, and no one has ever treated you as disrespectfully as you have, really. Okay?
Sometimes the real story isn't in what's said, but in what someone can no longer stand to hear. Robert Pattinson walks out over Kristen Stewart. Question in 2009. During the world premiere of the Twilight Saga New Moon, Robert Pattinson joined Ryan Seacrest for what was expected to be a friendly, relaxed red carpet interview. But then Seacrest asked,
Say to your fans who are desperate to know about you and your co-star Kristen, what can you tell them?
Pattinson, caught off guard, gave a polite but pointed response.
The thing I can say to them is watch New Moon, it's amazing.
Just as quickly, his team stepped in. The interview was abruptly cut short, and Seacrest, stunned, turned to the camera and said,
But I was just cut off for the first time ever.
With a courteous thank you, Pattinson walked away from the mic, ending the interview without drama or confrontation. Just a quiet, graceful exit. Shannon Tweed walks out after relationship questions. In 2011, Shannon Tweed appeared on a talk show to promote the new season of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. The interview started off somewhat awkward, but things took a sharp turn when the conversation shifted to her long-term relationship with husband Gene Simmons. The host asked bluntly,
Been with him for 27 years.
Tweed replied with visible frustration.
I'm tired.
28.
I'm tired of it.
You're tired of the life?
Well, the kids went to college, and I'm tired of his life.
Tweed's irritation became clear. After a tense back and forth with her husband about their relationship's challenges and his philandering ways, she abruptly ripped off her microphone and walked off set. Gene Simmons calmly asked her to return, but the moment had already made its mark. Despite the drama, the couple married just 4 months later and remained together as of 2024. Christine O'Donnell walks out over reluctant answers in 2010. Republican Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell appeared on a political talk show to discuss her new book and campaign. What was meant to be a promotional interview quickly took a turn when the host pressed her on controversial topics, including her views on sexuality and gay marriage. The host asked bluntly,
"Your own public statements, and now what you've written in your own book. It's hardly rude to ask you that, surely."
O'Donnell avoided the question at first and then responded cautiously.
Well, don't you think as a host, if I say this is what I want to talk about, that's what we should address?
As the interview progressed, the host continued to press her on personal and political issues. O'Donnell insisted she preferred to focus on the topics outlined in her book rather than answer a direct question on air. Growing increasingly frustrated, she announced abruptly,
Yeah, okay, I'm being pulled away. You know, we turned down another interview for...
Without further explanation, O'Donnell stood up, thanked the host politely, and exited the interview. As you've seen with Paris Hilton and Birdman, even the biggest stars have their limits when interviews cross certain lines. These unexpected exits reveal just how real and raw celebrity moments can get when the questions hit too close to home. If these surprising walkouts and revealing reactions caught your attention, stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes stories that show the human side of fame. Subscribe now to catch every unforgettable moment, where the conversation ends and the real story begins.